Hey everybody, welcome to my very first stream, The Reluctant Rebel. I'd like to welcome you to this more than likely cringe-inducing stream, but you know what, you got to start somewhere. My whole purpose of this channel is to bring discourse to things that many people talk about and things that we should probably be talking about. I myself did not want to be in a position where I would make these streams, but over the course of the past few years, it's been bringing me more out into the world and more willing to talk about these things. Now, that is why this channel is named Reluctant Rebel. So I welcome you. I hope you enjoy it. And we're now going to bring our panelists. Our first, you might know him from many streams. He don't miss. It is Alec Baldwin's finger.
How's it going?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Good. Yeah, I go by Alec Baldwin's finger. I been trying to raise gun awareness to people.
So I can see that in the background. Many guns. So, our next person, you might also know him on many streams. His name is Yo Pops.
Hey, what's going on? Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I hear you.
Oh, Jesus.
So, looks like we got another person on our stream up there. Well, Alec Baldwin's puppy. Hi.
That's Molly.
Oh,
And
Molly.
last but
How
not
you doing,
least,
Molly?
let's say a different viewpoint to everybody else on this panel tonight. It's Jess.
Hi.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm just a silly writer. That's all I am.
Ah, yes.
With an opinion.
Heaven forbid. We need more of that, though. So.
Thanks for having all of us on.
You are most welcome. I appreciate everybody kind of pushing me towards this point. It's a bit different when it's your house. So, anyways, so as I said before, my name is Reluctant Rebel. I never thought I'd be in this point. I was a happy normie, never really cared about anything. I just kind of went about my merry day. You know, I'd have my opinions on things. But after the last few years, it's gotten to the point where it's almost untenable. You know, it's just people will just talk and say the dumbest things. Not because they're ignorant, but because they so want to be validated in their own opinion. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start the stream, is that that's not a good thing. You should be outside your echo chamber. Now, I would assume most of us might have a lot of the same thoughts, but that might come out as not exactly the same as we thought. But I think having strong discussion about stuff is a good way to go about it. And I always have. I've always thought debate is a wonderful thing. Well, once again, I don't know how much debate's going to be going on tonight, but talking about things that happen in the news is a good way to kind of air things out and understand how other people think. And yeah, that's kind of the whole point of this channel at some point. But tonight we're just going to cover a few topics. One of the first things, and this one's just kind of been stuck on my mind. Alec and I were talking about this earlier. The whole, I don't know how many of you have been following it, the Fani Willis trial.
Oh, yes. I've been watching Jeremy D-Day Cobra's CobraCast religiously, and we talk a lot about that.
Yep.
And I've been trial too.
Yep, I've been following most of the reputable people on LawTube, like Nate the Lawyer is one of my favorites. Viva Frey, things like that. And it's funny, I tuned in about 10 minutes before that stream started, and I'm like, this is kind of boring, kind of droll. They're dodging questions. Lo and behold, Fanny comes in with her backwards dress on.
She comes hustling in.
There you go. Hustling, that's a good word, because that's, yeah.
She also needs a little support in the upper area, if you know what I mean.
Well, the floor needs a little extra support, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. So if you've been following, what happened was over the past, I think it was about past week. It's about a week old news, but it's still simmering because nothing much else has come out about it. Fani Willis basically is the person that brought, basically accused Trump and his team of, basically colluding to ruin an election and things like that. You know, heaven forbid you challenge an election that probably should have been challenged.
Like
Anyways.
Hillary did.
Yeah.
Right.
So I
And
think
Al
we
Gore.
might.
Oh yes, Al Gore.
Oh yeah, I remember the hanging chads. Yeah, that was fun. That was my first year that I could vote. I didn't. I'm glad I didn't. But anyways, so yeah, no, so they're just so basically what the purpose of the trial was, if anybody was following, and if you're not, let me get you up to speed. It's to basically see if there's an appearance of impropriety. This isn't like you're guilty or you're not. It's basically, it just has to appear as if you're being improper. And what it is Fani Willis and her special prosecutor Nathan Wade purported to have a relationship. First they said they didn't have a relationship. Then they said they have one that magically started after they started their professional relationship. And now it's come out that they might have been before that. So
thousands of texts and phone calls.
yes, and horrible decisions to come sit on the stand later. Here we are. So what I'm going to do. So what are you guys all thoughts on this matter? I'm going to queue up some Prime video here, not Amazon Prime. Some really good clips here. So what are you guys' thoughts on the whole entire thing? The whole entire thing, Meta, like as far as her bringing the charges and where we're at now with her improprieties or alleged improprieties. Not so alleged.
It's all sham. It's a whole sham. I mean, the charges that they're bringing up to the election interference. I mean, you know, there's a whole bunch of Democrats, like Reluctant Rebel said earlier, that you know, challenged previous elections, but all of a sudden, because Trump's doing that, and because they don't like Trump, they're gonna, you know, put him through a kangaroo court essentially, and. Now it's all coming out that Fani Willis, right? It's Fani Willis.
Yeah.
Fanny. They say Fani.
Yeah, when did that start? They started calling her Fani.
Fani. God, that's like when people say Nevada instead of Nevada. It's like, you know,
yeah,
it's Fani. But now that it's all coming out to light that they're, you know, a bunch of corrupt people, and they've been, you know, taking what was it, the political contribution money and all that, and the cash that's been stored at her house and everything. I mean, you know, she really just should have pled the fifth. They all should just pled the fifth and just let the lawyers talk.
And then she also fired someone that was trying to point out the stealing of campaign funds, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So that's starting to come out again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I watched the trial. This is what they're doing. Okay. So Nathan Wade is Fani Willis's special prosecutor, who magically they became engaged in a relationship like 2 days after it started. Apparently she moves quick. But so what happened is Nathan Wade was on the stand, and he basically says, I use my business card for everything, and then I pay it off later in cash. And I don't know how many other business owners we have here, but that is the most retarded thing I've ever heard of in my life. The whole reason that you have a business card is to separate your purchases from your business and your personal account, so that you don't, if you get sued and they take you to the cleaners, that they can't take all of your personal assets. So this dummy has bought everything. So if he ever gets sued, they're going to take everything. I bet he bought his socks. They'll take his socks from him if he gets sued. So the whole thing just reeks of, if nothing else, if it's not improper and it's not like purposeful breaking of the law, they're incompetent fools. When you listen to Fanny speak on the stand, she's an idiot. Idiot.
Essentially, his name's Nate, right? I don't.
Nathan Wade.
Can't remember.
Yeah,
Nathan Wade. Yeah.
Nathan Wade.
Essentially, what he's doing is he set up a corporation or LLC, and he's using it as a shell company, right? I don't even think he really is selling any product or any services, or he's supposed to be like a consultant or something like that. Is that the guys are like him being a consultant or something like that?
Well, no, he has a private firm, and he is
Okay, yeah, law
he
for
got
law,
he
right?
got brought on to be a special prosecutor. It's basically
Okay.
special prosecutors. You bring on somebody that's supposed to be they're supposed to be impartial and not related to you. They're special
Right.
prosecution. You bring in somebody that's supposed to be like not an arbitrator, but like, basically if you were having a fight with somebody,
Like
you
a
say, hey,
mediator.
yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
hey, can you just can you tell this guy he's full of shit? And the other guy says, hey, can you tell him he's full of shit?
Yeah.
That's basically what the special prosecutor is supposed to be. One of the people telling you that they are full of shit is not supposed to be sleeping with that person. Otherwise, that
Yeah.
opinion becomes invalid, and that's the whole point of this matter. Is it's total nonsense. And
Essentially what Nathan is doing is because I've seen it before. A lot of people do this that open up LLCs is they put everything onto the business account and they write it off for tax purposes. That's what I see. That's what I think he's doing.
oh yeah, no, I have an LLC. Not that I'll tell
Right.
you guys what it is, but I do it so that in case in what I do for a career, if they decide they're like, hey, you cheated on this isn't if they have any kind of illegal ramifications against me, it's a limited liability corporation. It's basically a shield. Like basically, once again, when I going back to the business credit cards, you use those because you keep your business assets separate than your personal assets. That's the whole point. It basically that entity is like a separate person to you in a sense. They can sue that, but they cannot sue you personally. They can't take your personal assets.
A caveat with that though is if there's intermingling of personal funds with business funds, then any lawyer with the salt will be able to pierce the veil of the LLC and will be able to have the what's the word I'm looking for, like the CEO of that LLC liable for whatever damages and everything. So that's another thing too. You cannot commingle funds like that.
Yeah, well, the base reason you don't want to do that is because if it's on the inventory that you bought it with that card, then it's fair game.
Exactly.
So what were you going to say, Alex? Sorry.
There's a case that he was overpaid also for what he was doing.
Oh yeah,
he worked a certain amount of hours and they overpaid hours. So
it's not even like, oh, okay, the next person made about 75% of what I made. It's like it's in the factor. It's in multiples.
Yeah.
Like I don't quite know once again, people, this is the first stream. This is the kind of quality you're going to get. I saw the numbers. It's like, it's insane. Like, and the fact that like the other people that are on the case, and yeah, he would work 24 hours in a day, and he kept trying to skirt the issue. Like, oh no, that's just how you write it up. It's like, no, that's not how you write it up. You put in your hours. Even if you have to say I worked 8 hours today, you say 9 to 5. You don't lump everything into one day. That's stupid. Because that's why you have your inventories. That's why you keep track of everything, so that you can say these are the hours that I worked. You can't just say, okay, well, I just need to get paid. It's 24 hours. No, because when it comes around and your LLC gets ripped a new one and you're getting accused of impropriety, now you look like an idiot. That's why you have to keep your records clean as best you can. Nobody's perfect, believe me. I'm sure I can get caught on a few things, but it's being negligent or being ignorant of it. So those are the two differences. And from what I've seen in the trial, they are being negligent as shit.
It's pretty obvious that what he's doing is he's accepting the extra hours, so-called. Those are pretty much bribes. And then you just put it on your books as, oh, extra hours worked and all that, even though you didn't work all those hours. I mean, that's how a lot of politicians do. That's how they get, donations and all that stuff. And, that's what it is.
Yeah. And then the whole thing is they didn't even try to hide it. I mean, that's the money that the money that they reported shows that there might be, opens the door. It definitely puts an idea in somebody's mind that it's improper, because they're getting paid multiple times more than the next person below them for the work. It just there's too many things. And then once again, people, this is the appearance of impropriety. This isn't, did they do something improper? Does it pass the smell test? It does not. The whole thing just reeks of utter bullshit. Excuse my French.
Is this a? Sorry.
Do you have anything to add, Jess? Sorry.
I was just gonna say that I mean, Trump didn't do anything wrong, and yet here they are just pulling something out of their asses, but it's because they hate him, and it's like he didn't do anything wrong, so this shouldn't even be going on. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
Look at what's going on in New York with the New York trial. How they fined him how many millions of dollars for him getting a bank loan and repaying.
And
he repaid a bank loan. And he repaid it. Everything was good. Plus interest. That's right. And he can't even sell any of his assets to cover it.
I'm gonna hit that one.
He has to sell his assets before he could even appeal the decision, I believe.
Yeah, I was gonna hit that one next. I wanted to kind of tie it. Yeah, that's all right.
My bad.
That's all right.
We just got ahead.
That's all right. Your pops got excited. No, so yeah, back to this. It's just the whole thing was just a sham. And the thing that makes me the most sick is like people like Jenna Ellis and these other people.
Oh God! Her name is Jeba.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to cue this up. This is the person that Jenna Ellis sat across from. Hold on. This is the person Jenna Ellis sat across the room from and is like, yeah, no, this is totally cool. I'll totally take a plea deal with this woman. Just wait till you see this nonsense.
Ms. Willis, how did you know to come into the courtroom right then? There were people I was pacing in my office. Okay. And I heard someone yell, his testimony is done. It only made sense to me that I would be your next witness. And I've been very anxious to have this conversation with you today. So I ran to the courtroom.
So as soon as you heard that Mr. Wade was done testifying, that's when you just assumed you would be the next witness?
It only makes sense.
Did you listen to any of the testimony?
I've been in my office pacing, ma'am.
Did you listen to any of the arguments?
I did hear the arguments this morning. It's ridiculous to me that you lied on Monday, and yet here we still are. And I did listen to that argument.
All right, so that was it, just the argument, no testimony.
Right, I listened to the argument this morning where Adam Abadi, I thought, did an excellent job pointing out how dishonest you were with the court on Monday. And I'm actually surprised that the hearing continued, but since it did, here I am.
Right.
That is the person that Jenna Ellis sat across the table from is like, I'm guilty. Yeah. Wow. Get me out of here.
You know what really blows my mind is how the prosecution didn't declare her a hostile witness. I mean, every line of questioning that she's getting asked, she's obviously hostile, and pretty much a lot of these are yes or no questions, and she's just giving a bunch of irrelevant statements. Just in what she just said right now, all she had to say was yes or no. That's all it was. But then she's essentially, and then she said that in the hostile witness portion would be her accusing was it Jenna Ellis of
Jenna Ellis and a few other people. Yeah, that's why there were so many attorneys in the courtroom for
saying that
the other side. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, saying that she was lying. It's like that's not relevant. That's not your responsibility as a witness to point that out. Your responsibility as a witness, if you decide to go up and testify, is to just answer the questions as direct as you can of what's being asked of you. I don't know why they didn't declare a hostile witness, and then that judge.
Oh, I know why.
Story. Yeah.
Let me paint a picture for you. So this is why they didn't do it. Let's say your dad was taking money out of your safe, and you call him to the stand. I'm not going to be hostile to my dad. She's the DA of Fulton County. She's in a Fulton County courtroom. She owns their asses. So they are treading lightly because she's got a lot of power. She's got that creepy old dude. We gotta, I'd like to make it past one stream before I get yeeted off into the universe, but we know who we're talking about. His name's George. He's evil, so she's got that money behind him too. So it's basically like
yes.
there's too much heat. I mean, she's an idiot, obviously. Anybody that hears her talk, and that also underlines how sleazy some of the people that had Trump's back, supposedly, how they did him dirty. It's really disgusting. But one of the best things that came out of this trial is everybody got to see this for the most part. People that wanted to open their eyes to it. You don't. The trial doesn't have to come back with her, winning and things like that. She's shown how inept and incompetent, her team is. So as far as the general public, if they ever thought that whatever was against Trump, if there's people on the fence, they should. Some of them won't, but they should come back over because they honestly just look incredibly incompetent.
Yeah, but people like Jenna, I believe firmly that she was never actually for Trump at all. I think that she's just a grifter, and she took advantage of the situation, and because she went all for DeSantis, and now she's just a flip flopper. She's a grifter.
I think you're right.
So
No,
I
she
don't
totally
think she
is.
was actually for Trump at all, even from the start. Like I just don't think it was.
And can I just make this one point? If Fannie Willis is found guilty on all of this, and it does, and the courts do decide that she was engaged in corruption, this will have a lot of implications for any crime that she was a prosecutor in. All right. So she could have locked up murderers, rapists, whatever, like hardcore felons. And now, if she is found guilty, those people that she locked up, that let's say they're violent criminals, whatever, will have a chance to appeal whatever punishment that they were given, and they may even be let go. So this
if she put any of those
not only
because she could have easily wrongfully accused them of things.
This doesn't just affect Trump, this affects a bunch of other people too. So
unfortunately, she's one of those Soros DAs, so she didn't put any of those people in prison.
Right.
Yeah. And they're
all
recent.
out.
She campaigned on putting Trump behind bars, remember?
But here's the
thing.
Yeah, so the appearance of impropriety, they don't have to show that she was improper at all. She just had to look like she's doing something sneaky. That's it. But when it comes right down to it, if they say that it wasn't proper, it gets thrown out to another county. And I don't know if you've been to Georgia, but there ain't too many other counties that were that would probably run with this prosecution. So if it gets thrown out, it's as good as dead, according to a lot of people. Not that I'm an expert, but it sounds like common sense. If you throw it out to some rural county, it's gone. So so on to the next one. So the next thing I wanted to talk about tonight was Miss Letitia, whatever her name is.
Peekaboo James.
Peekaboo James. You can't sneak up on that bitch.
Well, her eyes are off like this. So
good Lord.
She can
see everything. Yeah, that's right.
She
can see you coming unless you're right in front of her.
Can't sneak up on her.
You think they at least try to find some good-looking people to bribe and to fund these corrupt DAs? At least find some good-looking ones where they got to be all ugly all the time. You know what I mean?
Well, it's because they're so evil. That's why they're ugly. Because they're evil.
Yep. Your soul, if you have a good soul, it'll emanate through your body, and you will appear. For the most part, you'll appear to be a good person, and your body won't rot. Not to go too back into nerd territory, but that's kind of like what I originally thought happened to Palpatine. It's because he was such an evil person, ate him from the outside. But that's what happens. She's just an awful person. She's been bragging about this for 6 years, right, Alec? She's been like, I'm going to get him. I'm going to go after him.
Yeah, that's what she campaigned on. Getting Trump.
So I just found the numbers. He's ordered to pay $454 million in a case where there were no victims. Even the banks were like, banks, which are notoriously, I'm not going to sound like some Occupy Wall Street douchebag, but they're notoriously, you know, when your whole business is the pursuit of money, you're not going to attract the best people. And even they said they couldn't lie and say, hey, yeah, no, we had made good deals with Trump. Like real estate is an art in essence, as far as like making deals. If it's worth that much and they think they can make that money, it doesn't matter if it's 2-3 times as much. If they can appraise it for whatever they want, you know, when you get an appraisal on your house, that's just for Joe Q public. They're just going to be like, okay, here, you know, we think this is this much. We don't want to get too much exposure on this and eat it in a few years if we have to short sell it, you know, because we've lent too much money. You know, with him, that's a whole different thing. He's a power broker. He's got buildings everywhere. So
yeah, it's
you
not
know,
like
track
an
record.
appraisal is like a legal thing that you have to do. It's just a negotiation process. That's all it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing like official about those numbers.
yeah, it's
So,
basically the bank sends somebody out and says, is this person full of shit? And they're like,
exactly.
kind of, but not really. So they give you, like, you know, when I sold my house, I didn't appraise for as much as they wanted to buy it, but but with Trump, it's just like he's just wheeling and dealing, making tons of money. Everybody benefits from it. Everybody benefits from it, even if it appraises for a lot more than what they say it is. And that's the point. Not only were there no victims, everybody benefited from it. But this creep Edgeron,
Oh,
Look
Jesus
back
Christ, man. Someone check his computer.
yeah,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
wanna
show you
check
guys
it.
something.
Well, did
So,
you hear that apparently he had an affair with like a secretary or something?
Yeah, something like that. I've heard
Was she
something
blind?
like that. Yeah. Oh man.
Right. Yeah. So I don't want to show the picture once again. I'd like to be up for more than one live stream. So apparently he goes on his Facebook page for his high school reunion, and he works out. And apparently he was showing him flex, and he had his bare chest, and he's like flexing
No way.
in the picture.
It's
Yeah.
gross.
Oh, you gotta show it. Come on, you gotta show it.
Well, if I can find it, I feel like I said,
No.
yes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I gotta see this.
Wow, come on. Where's the let's bring the sexy back. Oh wait, that's the guy. That's Uncle Owen. That's not the right guy. I got the wrong person. Let's see. Trump. I'm totally gonna get somebody kicking in my door with these search terms. Trump judge.
Well, Google's probably suppressing it from you right now.
You could
Well,
probably just Google New York
just-
New York Supreme Court judge. His name is like
So-
Arthur.
So while I'm going to subject the rest of the viewing, the rest of the panel and everybody viewing out there, this horrible picture that I've seen, so you guys got to suffer with me. What is your guys' thoughts on the whole victimless crime that happened here? I'll start with Jess.
Oh, go
Sorry.
ahead.
I want to start with Jess. I've been keeping her last, so I want to sit in Jess and then Alec and then you'll pops if you don't mind.
What with New York and whatnot?
The whole New York thing, just like the 10,000 foot view here. Like, what do you think about the whole thing? Like, as far as like the judge, the DA, peekaboo, and then the whole judgment. Like, what?
It's
What
a
do you
bunch
think?
of bullshit. That's what it is. Plain and simple.
Can't say it any better than that.
It's just insane. They just want to try anything they can do to get rid of Trump. They just want to get rid of him so bad. They don't care. They will do anything. And at this point, they're actually kind of helping him. They're helping him a lot because we know that they're full of shit and that we just we're not gonna fall for it. I mean, there are people obviously who still believe in the Russia collusion nonsense, so they're beyond saving or waking up. So
Yeah, they'll get there. It'll
eventually,
take like one of the worst. It's apparently somebody fell down upstairs.
Ooh.
So I'm not related to him. I don't care. It's not my upstairs.
Okay.
So what do you think, Alec? What do you think about the whole entire thing and the repercussions of what's happened?
I think that they were just trying to find any charge that they could possibly get to stick, and that was the most viable one.
Mm-hmm.
and everybody sees through it except for the hyper-partisan people. So, but I
Yeah.
think everyday normal people see through it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What about you, Yo Pops? You got anything to add there? I mean, I know Jess took the whole entire air out of the room with that.
No.
I mean, because
I mean,
she dropped the people's elbow and then just left the arena, and yeah, we're a bunch of
Hey, gotta get to the point.
no, this is actual election interference. I mean, they want to say whatever Trump did was he was interfering with the election, which he wasn't. He was making a speech, and we already know how that day, went. January 6th. They try to say that the whole speech he did was, his interfering with the election and all that, but no, this is straight up lawfare election interference. That's what they're doing. Exactly what they're doing. And they know, and the thing is with the lawfare, even if Trump appeals, and we already know it's all bullshit, but it's going to take years for it to filter down through the courts. It's going to take a lot of time, and that's what they're banking on. They're banking on this case going through the slow process of the courts, of the appeal courts, to pretty much buy themselves time, so Trump can't, get on the ballots or whatever. I mean, yeah. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But now here's the thing. So my bread and butter, what I do for a living, besides graphic design, is that I'm in marketing. My whole thing is okay. Here's the cover story. Here's what's going on underneath. In addition to that is here's what happened, and here's what's going to happen later. So these dummies, because they're coming for the head of Trump. They just can't. They're just frothing from the mouth. They just got that sight, and they got their blinders on. They're looking down sight, and they hit him. You know what? If you are a multi-billionaire real estate agent, or you own properties in New York, are you going to believe the mayor of New York say, "Oh, well, it was just, don't worry about it. We're not coming after you"? They just set a precedent in New York. They can come for anything. If you make a deal that is too good, they can get you.
Yep.
All right. Obviously, it'll get turned over on appeal because it's going to hit a court at some point where they're like, "Yeah, that's stupid. That's bullcrap." But yeah. So it's just like they're so stupid. They did the same thing with Elon Musk. Delaware, the place where everybody incorporates their business. The only reason they make money, because if you've ever been to Delaware, it's like, all right, whatever. It's like a dingleberry on the rest of of New England. It's like, who cares? The only reason they care is because everybody can incorporate there. Well, they just told him that he had to pay like $51 billion. Literally the next week, he said, "Okay, I'm incorporating in Texas." These people are so ready to just destroy somebody they don't agree with politically that they're basically ruining their state, which I find is it's glorious. Even if they appeal, and so anyways, so before I talk anymore
Mo,
about that,
if I could just piggyback on what you just said right now.
did you say back? Did you say piggyback?
Yeah, piggyback.
Oh god.
Oh no. Oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I see you, Nick Brown. Secret Service has entered the chat, but they just left because look at that. Look at that man.
Oh God.
It looks like
why?
this scene. Yeah.
Looks like he drinks a lot of soy.
Ugh.
Those aren't even abs. What the fuck is that?
Oh,
Jesus.
he's a gross old man.
I bet there's a reptile hiding under there.
Yeah, right.
Enjoy.
That's a skin suit.
No, more like a demon.
It's a skin suit.
Enjoy, Chad. Enjoy.
Sugar water.
Enjoy.
Hey, well, Mo, you're to go back to your earlier point, you do realize that what the precedent that's been set in New York with the Trump case is essentially a precedent for wealth redistribution. Now these people have a legal way to take money from the rich and redistribute it to the poor, which we all know what that means, is that the government just takes the money and just spends it the way that they want to. So
inefficiently.
Yes, very inefficiently. But it'll get overturned on it'll get overturned. No, like even the people that might not that hate Trump, which is most of New York, or at least the city centers, they're just going to be like, look, you just totally ruined our real estate business here. You've opened a door that we need to close. So once it gets up to the probably not the next highest court, but maybe the state Supreme Court, it's going to get yeeted. There's no way it's going to go beyond that.
You know
So-
what? We'll see.
Doesn't.
We'll see.
They're just slitting their own wrists, really. Because
Yeah, it's
there's already so many taxpayers leaving that state.
Well, it's like AOC who complained and yelled about Amazon coming in there, and obviously they didn't. And now guess what? There's like tons of jobs were not able to come to New York because she sat there and was like, "Oh, I don't want Amazon there." And I was
You
like,
got to remember
"Oh."
these. You also got to remember that these people, you don't care about that. They're running off of ideology and ideology alone, and whatever they can do to further their ideology, they'll just do it. You got to
Well,
remember these people. They don't care about all that. They'll just go
No.
on to the next one, and they'll do another thing. They'll go after another person, and just keep going. That's just how lawfare works. I mean, living in California, it's kind of like the thing that they do with the gun issue over here. You know, we had the Bruin decision by the Supreme Court, and California, the Ninth Circuit Court is just dragging its ass, and they know that the ruling that was set by the Supreme Court, they know what it says, but they're just going to just keep on. The state of California and the DOJ is just going to keep on filing for appeal, and they know that they have the ear of the Ninth Circuit. So, I mean, as much as I want to have hope that things will get overturned and the precedent will be done with, but I just don't see that happening because these people are just they're rabid. They're rabid with their ideology.
Yep, and that
Because-
term you just. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I just wanted to touch on this real quick. And
Oh
sorry.
yeah, just
So
really
what he
quick.
was just talking about, what that term is, it's called Chinese democracy.
Yeah.
And it originates from if you're trying to bring lettuce into China, they will just fight you legally. They'll kill you with lawfare. And by the time they'll say, okay, you're allowed to bring in the lettuce. Well, it's wilted and it's dead. So basically,
dead,
by
yep.
the time you get the ruling that you want, the time has come and gone. So anyways, go ahead, Jess.
And also, communists do not allow dissent. If you step out of line, no, you can't do it. So that's why they're all in lockstep, because they do not allow dissent.
That's right, comrade. Do not speak up. Do not be strong. Stay under boot of Mother Russia.
That is right. And I am part Russian. My family has history there. And when my great grandma came over here, she's like, I don't even want to be Russian. If like my grandma would say like, oh yeah, my mom's from Russia, she'd be like, don't tell them that. I'm American. She didn't want anything to do with Russia anymore. Her family left after, during World War I because the Bolsheviks were going to kill them. So my family could have been killed by those guys.
Well, thank goodness they didn't, and you're here to hate on Mother Russia.
So I hate them. I have a reason to hate them.
Well, everybody has a reason to hate them.
Yeah, everybody does. Yeah, of course.
You have a special reason to hate them.
Yeah, that's more what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. You think you could have been an author in Russia?
Nope.
Nope. They would have been like, you must write this. You must praise Lenin. He is wonderful.
Yeah, it's got to go through a propagandist first.
That's right. What is this? Why you want freedom? Are you a Bolshevik? Maybe you should go
imperialist.
That's right. Go to Gulag for 5 years or more.
Yeah, if you really want to read something that'll really give you perspective, read the Gulag Archipelago.
Oh yes, was it Alexander Stolznyan? Yep.
Solzhenitsyn, yeah.
Yep, I heard that one from Jordan Peterson. You should read this book. It's very good. Don't be absurd.
But
That's a really good impression.
Yes, we'll bring him on. I talk about the carnivore diet. Don't eat any plants. They're not good for you.
Well, that's because his daughter has an autoimmune thing, and that's like the only thing.
Oh, that's brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, because
ate her hip.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, anyways, enough about people's bodies eating themselves. Let's get on to the next topic. The topic of the night, the subject of the thumbnail.
Oh, wow.
Nikki the Nimrod Haley, folks. Now, I am a current resident of South Carolina. I won't tell you where,
Oh,
on the off chance that I get famous someday and they figure this out. But I'm a resident of South Carolina, fresh. Got tired of the winters of up north, and I was like, needs that. So
hmm.
I'm happy to say that we came out in droves and handed Nikki a nice embarrassing loss.
It
But
was beautiful.
apparently that wasn't good enough for her. So let's take a look at Nikki Haley's speech. So
She's
yeah,
so bad.
she really is. I don't like her because of her teeth. People say she lies. People say she lies through her teeth. And I'm like, everything that she talks to, she doesn't open her mouth. Her teeth are clenched the entire time. It's creepy.
Yeah.
I just hate her voice. It's so grating. It's just, oh my god.
Every day she starts to look more like John Kerry. It's kind of funny. Just take a good look at her, and she just starts to look like John Kerry.
Oh my god. And all she does is pull the race card. I was a brown girl and I was segregated from everybody else. Lady, come on.
Yes, because that's how people acted in the 70s and 80s. Is we
Yeah,
were
exactly.
Yeah, people really.
we're totally post MLK in in the state that had the most black Republicans in the Senate ever. This brown girl. Have you seen pictures of her when she was in kindergarten?
No.
No.
She was a little brown
using
girl,
her
right?
real name?
She was a little
What do you
brown
think?
girl that got made fun of a lot.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. I mean, talk about somebody that can't read the room. Are you serious?
You can't.
Like she is. Like this is a problem. She is, and I'm assuming not. I'm not going to assume you, Jess, because I'm not that. I'm a gentleman. I'm not going to assume the age of a woman.
I'll just tell you I'm
But,
31. It's fine. I'm 31.
Oh, okay.
I'm good. It's fine. I don't
Okay.
care.
Yeah, she's younger than all of us.
I am 31. Do not assume. I am a Russian woman. Very strong. So,
And I'm half Swedish too.
oh, yeah, that's right. I think we talked about that. I remember talking about that. Oh no,
Yeah. I don't know.
know.
Yeah.
But no, I'm part Swedish too. Hence my nice high cheekbones.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I'm 43. So I grew
You're
up
still
right
Asian.
when I yes, but I'm old enough to remember when Bush and McCain and Mitt Romney, all these people were coming through, and I remember I had a lot of friends that got called up from the reserves because of all these idiots
really?
just wanting to just start wars. And a lot of people my age, especially I consider myself a conservative. Republicans are a whole different thing.
Yeah. Mhm.
But I'm a conservative, small L libertarian. Do what you want to do. Leave me alone.
Me too.
Don't give 14-year-olds zipper tits, and
Zipper tits.
don't. Well, Yo Pops
Leave
already got
them
me in trouble.
alone.
Yo Pops has basically went down the list of things you don't say in a political stream. He's like doing election fortification and I'm just like, whatever. Let's have fun. Zipper tits. So yeah, so a bunch of fat liberal women. This will be this. Yeah. So I do have friends of different walks, and they know how I feel. Okay, but fat liberal women are the scourge on the entire face of the earth. Thank you very much.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they are
Oh,
just
are
the
they?
worst. Yeah, it's just like, look, I'm sorry that your life has been cake, and I'm sorry.
No,
that
it's more like, I'm sorry you have daddy issues, but get over it, girl. Come on.
well, they're trying to. They're getting over it, getting over this, getting
Stop
over that.
eating your feelings.
I say keep eating your feelings. Let's get it over with. Let's cull the herd. Just go for it, girl. You can do it. You already ruined your daughter's
Shove
life.
those Twinkies in your face. Who
That's
cares?
right. Nobody loves me.
But they're all narcissists and think, oh, I'm so hot. And
Yeah.
you're looking at them going, you look
That's
like a
crazy.
fat
That's
blob.
fucking crazy how they're like that, man. It's insane.
It's like a coping mechanism or something.
Yeah.
Alec, how do you feel about fat or liberal women?
He loves them.
Well, Nimrata in general, I just don't like because she talks about how many countries she wants to bomb every single time she opens her mouth, and that's exactly
And she can't
what I
name
want
any
our
of the
country to stop.
areas in that country.
Yeah, couldn't name any of the
War
provinces.
Karen
Yeah.
apparently failed geography.
So, yeah, I think that the United States needs to slow down on the bombing children,
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's where most people around my age and you guys who are probably younger than me, I would hope. Otherwise, that'll make me feel really bad about how I look. But hey,
Excuse
kid,
my cat. Oh, there he goes.
But yeah, no, she is just reprehensible. She's ignorant. She plays all the cards that people, conservatives and just well-meaning people with common sense that might be led on by the news, but they don't want to. They don't want it. They don't want. We don't want this in office anymore. There's one thing
No.
that a lot of Democrats and a lot of conservatives have in common is we all hated the George W. Bush era. We didn't like John McCain. We didn't like Mitt Romney because they were just Democrats too. They just couldn't commit to it. They're trying to have their feet on both ends of the aisle, and it's just like, no, we want the way you come to an agreement and the way you have real change is you have your viewpoint on one side and you have the other viewpoint on the other side and you meet in the middle. That's where the meat of everything that is good comes from. You don't just kowtow. You don't say, well, we'll just make the Patriot Act. No. That's that was. That was just what vodka tits, whatever her name is. I'm drawing a blank here.
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi, yeah.
Oh.
Nancy Pelosi and George W. Bush. Her name's Vodka Tits from now on. You people on this first stream, you're gonna know who I'm talking about from here on in.
I love how Yo Pop's doing
That is
exactly
a good
what you're
name for
talking
her.
about.
It's perfect.
Yes. So she basically was in lockstep with George W. Bush. They all had the same thing. They wanted to make money off wars. And I'm not down with imperialism. I think it's stupid at this point. It's just like we're good. I'll be happy when we take over Canada, but that's a few years off. But yeah, no. So it's just like to bring it back to Nikki. She just is. She's everything that we hate about rhinos, Republicans in name only. She has a thin. She has a thin defense. She hides behind identity politics, which is just it's insane. It's insane anybody would vote for her. Like, I just don't get it. I know people don't like Trump, but that's because they're afraid of bloviating people. All right.
It's all Democrats voting for her.
We've talked about Nikki long enough. I'm tired of her. She can just go brush her teeth and go with the 12 other guys and the one more to go and whatnot. Dirty hoe.
Jesse, you got something to say?
Yeah, may I just add, as somebody who lives in Arizona, I apologize for the McCain family. They suck. We don't like them. They're horrible. I mean,
yep, we got two Arizonians here.
Yep.
We got Jess and Alec Baldwin's finger.
Largest independent voter base in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, his whole thing is he would hide behind, I'm a war hero, which he kind of was. Yeah. He was. You can't take that away from him. He was in a PO, but it's just like, all right, what did you do after that? It's just like you can't hide behind that. That's a part of your life. That doesn't excuse any of the other stuff that you've done.
Yeah, and not too long ago, Carrie Lake wanted to extend an olive branch to Megan, and Megan just said, "If you biatch," it's like, oh, that shows what kind of person you are, lady.
Well, let's be serious. She should have extended something more than a branch. That wouldn't support it.
Yeah, that's true.
You needed like a cherry picker.
There's another whale.
Yeah.
There was a conspiracy theory. Now I don't know how true it was, but they were saying that John McCain, when he actually did serve, he wasn't even that great of a. I think he was a pilot, right? He was in Air Force or something like that. Mm-hmm. But apparently his track record wasn't even that good, and there was a ship that he was on. I forget which one it was, but there's a thing that he used to do this thing called a wet start on the jets. I believe that's when you like inject a bunch of fuel into the engine to like get a bunch of the what is it, like the thrust, and you get a big old flame coming out. He would do that all the time on the ship, and I believe he actually set one of the ships on fire, and a couple people got killed too doing that.
Oh,
They used to call him Wet Start Johnny. That's what they used to call him.
Really?
Yeah, and I believe his.
You remember the famous quote that Trump got in trouble for saying about McCain, right?
Well, refresh my memory.
I prefer my war heroes not to get shot down or something like that.
Yeah, not being captured. Yeah, like from war heroes not to get captured. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I believe John McCain's dad was like an admiral or something, or was pretty high up there.
He was a nepo baby. He was one of those.
So he was.
It's everywhere, folks. You know it. It's in the military. It's in the private sector. It's top to bottom. Well, Alex Baldwin's finger definitely knows about nepo babies. The Hannah Gutierrez, she's a nepo baby, the one that brought the live ammo onto the set of Rust. Anyways, yeah. Let's take a moment, Chad. Let's all thank Hannah Gutierrez for being a really horrible armorist. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this wonderful man to my right, Alec Baldwin's finger.
There's actually a lot of misconceptions about that. I actually don't see her at being, very much at fault, because she wasn't even on the set. The producer grabbed the hot gun, handed it to Alec Baldwin, and he fired it.
Thanks for ruining my joke, Alex. I appreciate it. All right, everybody, thanks. Thanks for no, I'm just kidding. No, it's yeah, no. So it's the whole thing is. I wish you would have moved one state over. Anyways, it was in New Mexico. So, anyways,
he lived in that city though.
Oh yeah, so that's my hot joke for the night. I can't let Yo Pops have all the fun. So, but yeah. So the last thing I wanted to touch on, and this is one of the things that kind of like really made me want to start the stream, and we'll end on this one. I have, and I think this is a big discussion for maybe another episode, but I wanted to touch on it a little bit because I just wanted to get it out before I forget. First, I want to ask you guys a question, and I'll answer it last. We'll just go around the horn. We'll start with Alec, Yo, and then Jess. When you talk to people, when it comes up, what do you think? Like, what is the most common response, or the one that sticks in your mind when people say why they don't like Trump?
He's a racist.
Okay. Yo.
He's a racist, and he's a horrible person. And for some reason, can't tell you why. What
about you, Yo?
Pretty much the same. Racist, misogynist. Russian collusion. Yeah, I mean it's pretty much all cookie cutter. Whatever they say about Trump.
What about you, Jess?
Yeah, that racist and that, but also a liar and a cheater, and it's just like, but they just can't tell you why. They just can't give you an answer, no matter how. You just go, why? And they were like, oh. I was like, oh,
there's
really?
so many reasons.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, there's so many. Well, what are those reasons?
It's what he said. What did he say? That thing you said. That one time. Well, which one time? That one time. And then, it's like, okay.
My big thing I hear down here is and this is South Carolina. It's not as red as a red state as you might think. It's a little bit of a muted red state because there's a lot of rhinos here. We have Lindsey Graham. But yeah, we won't talk about him tonight. And we'll leave that.
I could say something really mean about him, but I won't.
Oh, I will. He's got sugar in his britches. But anyways,
I was just going to call him an old queen, but that's just me.
This is true. So my whole thing is you hear, oh, he's an idiot, and people will just turn up their nose at him that are otherwise conservative, like conservative, or if you're like people in my family that might be ultra liberal, they're just like they literally are like, well, he caused people to kill themselves, and I'm like,
what? Correct.
because of his investments and stuff, where he would he would shut down a project, he would stop building a building, or he would shut down the like something, and then they would. I'm like, how's that his fault? So the point is everything that you just heard, everybody here, that's all bullshit. I think the real reason, I'm not saying what you think is bullshit, I'm saying what they think is. Because, and I'm going to entertain this, and I want to hear what you guys think. My whole thing is we live in a country, conservative, liberal, otherwise, full of people that have never been kicked in the teeth in life, not hard enough to understand how the world works and what a good coach is and things like that. I grew up with Bobby Knight as my head coach. All right. That is the kind of leadership that gets things done. Whether people like it or not, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The reason we need somebody like that is because it gets things done. It keeps people in line. When you talk about all the best leaders of all time, you talk about Michael Jordan, you talk about Bobby Knight, and honestly, and they all have their faults.
Of course.
Trump has his faults too.
Nobody's
But
perfect.
Trump, people, the reason I say this, the reason people don't like Donald Trump is because he's bloviating. He's a shit talker. I love him for it, but people can't stand that because they are offended by that because they think we're in some ultra civilized society and we are not. All right, it's time to come and kick some ass. All right, and if my leader is going to straddle both ends of the aisle, then we ain't gonna get anything done. All right.
No.
I'm not raising my child in a society full of winky tinks.
No.
All right. I want a man with an orange suntan to lay waste to the rest of these idiots. So,
Yes.
anyways. America.
Yeah. It's just so funny when people are like, "Oh, he says mean things to people," and this is what I say. I'm like,
good.
well, actually, he insults the politicians who need to be insulted. So I'm
right.
all for it.
I'm hoping.
Let him at it. He doesn't
He's
say,
been
he doesn't call us Nazis or extremists like Joe Biden, but he calls out the politicians who deserve it. They need to be called out. They're a bunch of freaking evil wackos.
I'd like to thank Jess for dropping the Yahtzee. And Yo Pops has been dropping it. Alec, why don't you say something? Just say suicide. I'll say it.
Oh my God.
I kind of already alluded to that with New York earlier.
In Minecraft. In Minecraft.
In Minecraft, yes.
In Minecraft. So.
No, in
I
real
can
life.
say the name of the whistleblower.
Oh, start with the E. I think the name starts with the E.
Oh, okay. Nick Brown is let's see here.
Oh, that one? Yeah. I mean,
let's see.
all those people we were complaining about are basically that. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I'll say it. Fag